Don't be an ass. Start investing versus saving. Everyone has the capability of being a great investor. Start to learn today. Today is the best day to learn. Wow, we're at Starbucks. My pike is $3.25. However, we have people in this car who are ordering $7 coffees. Okay. I can't believe someone would pay $7 for a cup of coffee.
Okay. Oh, no. We are waiting on drinks.
Okay.
My advice to you,
I got the pike.
When you're doing your financial planning, whatever you do, don't pull it out of Uranus. We're going to talk about how we're going to think about going from a millennial and a saver to a millionaire. And I think there's a way to show you how to become a millionaire. You just have to pay attention and invest in yourself. How we could take a Gen X person from a saver to a millionaire. And yes, that could actually be you. Gen Z.
It's video
Gen
of
Z.
old lady walking and looking at her phone.
Robin.
But falling over.
Robin.
Would you trust me with your investments? Really? If you're not really saving your money and figuring out what compound annual return is, you should be in jail. Really. We could take a Gen Zer from a really good saver all the way to a millionaire. That could be you. Let's talk about smart money moves. You really have to learn a couple of really critical things. Number one, you need to understand what compound annual return is. Sounds complicated, but we can make it easy. Also, you need to understand the stock market has grown 10% per year overall for almost the last 100 years. Why don't you get in on the business and get 10% a year on your savings? If you really look over time, the stock market has done great for people. And it doesn't take a man in a blue suit to make that happen. It could take some simple things, like a person to invest in an index fund, make 10% a year over time on their money versus the 0.02 or 0.03 that they're making in their current bank account. You really need to learn how to invest in the stock market. And I would say invest today, take some of your savings, invest it, and start doing a great job. If you're a saver right now and you really want to be an investor, you need to first start thinking about what you're making on your bank account right now. If you have a lot of money sitting in a regular bank account, you're only earning between 0.02 and 0.05% interest. What we want to do is teach you the difference between saving and investing. If you've done a really good job saving, it's time to take some of those savings and invest them. The first thing you really need to do is assess how much money you actually have. And if you have a reasonable amount of money in your savings account, you could take some of that money and put that money in a brokerage account. What a brokerage account allows you to do is to open potentially an index fund, a mutual fund, or an exchange traded fund. There's a lot to learn about this, but I think you can learn it if you try. And you could get a maybe 10% return versus a 0.02 or a 0.05 that's currently in your bank account. So once you open a brokerage account, you can start learning about return on investment on different instruments, index funds, exchange traded fund, a mutual fund, and then you can really figure out which fund would work best for you and try to get the best return over time. And the longer you invest in a fund, the more money you will make, and it will compound over years and years and turn into a really nice nest egg for you for your future. So learn how to invest your money in funds that can give you the best return. And I'll tell you, once you do that, you're really going to appreciate the way your money will grow. And the more it grows, the more money you'll have in the future to help you buy the things that you want and really make plans for a better life. Not only would you learn about the funds that you can invest in and get the best return on your investment, we can also look at the stock market. The stock market has been growing 10% per year over the last 100 years. On average, I know there's down years you hear about in the stock market, but when you look over 100 years, you actually can see a return of 10% a year on average. Would you rather get 10% on your money, or would you rather get 0.05? I think 10% is the magic number. Here's a smart money move. Convert yourself from a saver to an investor. Anyone can do this. You really just have to put your nose to the grindstone. You don't have to be a banker at Wall Street. You don't have to be a financial manager. You don't have to have a degree in finance. You can learn this on your own, and you can become a really good investor, but you need to start to study and understand. Couple things you have to do. Open a brokerage account. Put a little bit of money in there. Invest it in a fund. Once you invest it in the fund, watch it grow. And once you start feeling more comfortable, you'll understand that you could buy more funds and invest more money and let that grow year over year. A saver can actually turn into a millionaire, but you need to know where to invest, understand what you're investing, and I can tell you, anybody can learn this. The stock market has grown 10% a year over the last 100 years almost. And how did that happen? We had World War I, World War II, we had Korea, we had the oil embargo, we had the tech wreck, we had the mortgage crisis, we had 9/11. There are so many different events that happened over the last 90 years, and the stock market has prevailed in the long run. Yes, if you're not a real tolerant investor, that might scare you. But what I would say is put the money in the investments, let it ride over time. And when you let it ride over time, it will eventually become a really, really nice nest egg for you, your family, and your future. Let's talk about the stock market since 1929. A lot of people actually started to get a huge fear. You know, there was that big Wall Street crash, the stock market crashed, and everybody's always worried the stock market is going to crash and they're going to lose all their money. The stock market are companies that are doing a good job and running their business well, and even if the stock market goes down, good companies will survive. And that's what you invest in, good companies for survival. And I will tell you, they will survive. There will be years that are scary, and you will have to worry about those years, but guess what? It'll get better. It might be a couple years of a down market. It'll go right back to an up market. But when you look at it over that 90-year period, you can think about recently, 2022. 2022, we had a big 20% or so drop. That was a little scary, but guess what? This year, the stock market's doing fabulous. So overall, once again, when you even it all out, it's 10% per year increase in your investment over time. And every time we invest, we have to think of investing for the long term. So take the money that you can afford to save, and I'm taking you away from the word save. You need to invest. It's not saving, it's investing. Become an investor. Every single one of us can invest our money and understand it and watch our money grow, grow, and grow. Right now, you might have a savings account and you might have a substantial amount of money in there. What you want to do is take some of that money and put it in a brokerage account. Anybody can open a brokerage account at places such as Fidelity or Schwab. Open your account with a few dollars, and then once you do that, you can start selecting investments. They will show you how much those investments are growing right on the website. And you can invest in ones that are growing at, 5, 10, 15% versus 0.05. So you would actually take your money, put it in the brokerage account, and you would actually purchase an exchange traded fund or an index fund and just let that money grow. And that's the first step. And after that, as you watch your money grow, you'll realize you should put more of your savings in there. And you'll take your time and learn it slowly. Once you open up that brokerage account, you can actually start to invest in exchange traded funds or index funds. An index fund just follows the market. So when you hear things about the stock market on TV and the stock market gained 10%, you could go into the S&P 500, invest some money, and whatever the S&P 500 is making, you will make the same money. So you actually invest in an S&P 500 index fund, and you will actually follow the index. When the index goes down, your money will go down. When the index goes up, your money will go up. However, over time, you can expect like a 10% return, which is a lot better than what you're getting at your bank right now. If you're a great saver, Start thinking about becoming an even greater investor. You can do it. I know that you have the intelligence to move your money to a brokerage account and start investing it now. If you're serious about making your money work for you, you need to subscribe to this channel and really learn all you can about being an investor. You will go from a saver to an investor, and as you go to an investor, if you're young and you're a Generation Z or a millennial, you can become a millionaire. And I know that you can become a millionaire in the future.